Glenn Quagmire is definitely at the top of the list when it comes to over-the-top and outrageous adult cartoon characters ever made.
That was amazing!
You saved her life!
Thank God you know CPR!
What the hell's CPR?
Sure, he's funny and adds a light touch to the show, but his over-the-top antics with women are so wild that you either laugh or start drafting a letter to the FCC to shut the whole thing down.
What's wrong with you? Hold her down or 5,000? That's just for women!
His ridiculous pickup lines and weird thing he does to get women, dead or alive, have become a signature part of the show, and weirdly enough, they've actually won over a ton of fans.
Ah! Come back here, you! Ah! Giggity, giggity, crabbity, giggity.
Let's be real, we all probably know someone who's as shameless as Quagmire, strutting up to people with the most outrageous one-liners.
How you girls doing on popcorn?
I'll take some.
Here you go.
But honestly, most of those lines are just asking for a slap in the face. If you relate to Quagmire, they probably make total sense. But for the rest of us, they're hilarious. And probably should come with a "don't try this at home," or in this case, IRL warning. With that said, let's jump into some of his most over-the-top and outrageous pickup lines. One of the funniest Quagmire moments has to be when he tries to pick up a woman at the bar by guessing her zodiac sign. It's actually one of the rare times I felt like the guy didn't deserve to get beat up. But he still does. First, he guesses Gemini, and bam, slap to the face. Then he tries Capricorn, and this time he gets hit so hard his head does a full 360 spin. The woman looks more sad than angry at that point, but then he goes, "Oh well, I know you're not a Virgo," and that's when she unleashes her inner Mike Tyson and knocks him right off his chair. Probably, she was a Virgo. The funniest though is the last one, probably where he probably loses his ability to reproduce. When he's down on the ground and says, "Hey, from down here you look like a Pisces."
Gemini. Oh. Capricorn. Oh. Well, I know you're not a Virgo. Ah. Hey, from down here you look like a Pisces. Ah.
Yeah, for sure. She got his nuts for not guessing her astrological sign.
Well, he could be. It all depends on what his astrological sign is.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
So Quagmire might not be an expert on astrological signs, but when it comes to getting kicked, he's a total pro. Whether it's guessing the wrong sign or making one of his infamous pickup lines, the man sure knows how to earn a swift boot to the face. It's almost like his second language at this point, alongside giggity, of course.
So, you ladies ever been penetrated?
Well, that was blunt. Given how creative Quagmire can get with his pickup lines, this one really stands out as a total outlier. It's even less entertaining than his classic giggity, 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 let's have sex. This line feels like a graphic twist on the classic, "Are you still a virgin?" And honestly, it's more suited for a high school party truth or dare than a pickup attempt if you are going to be that blunt. And you know it is not something new for him. He said something similar when he was stranded on an island with a girl.
Did you really see that, or was it just an excuse to say giggity?
I don't know, baby. I'm crazy with the heat. Take your pants off.
Moving on, this next one is gold. Quagmire trying to pick up middle-aged women with Lois's help. It starts off hilariously awkward when she tells him to compliment a woman's blowout. Quagmire's immediate reaction is, "What? That sounds gross." Honestly, I was right there with him, thinking he was about to make a wild comment about, well, you know. But then Lois explains it's just fancy talk for spending a lot of money to get your hair dried. Who knew? So, Quagmire rolls with it, and, surprisingly, the blowout line works. But then, in true Quagmire fashion, he ruins it by noticing a yoga mat in the back of the woman's car and asking, "How often do you do yoga?" Cue Lois freaking out, texting, "No, never ask that." And, like Quagmire, we're all sitting there wondering why. Lois explains that women keep a yoga mat in their car to feel like someone who does yoga, even though they probably only go once every 6 months. Honestly, I didn't know whether to laugh or take notes. Of course, Quagmire gets called out for staring at his phone, so he panics and makes up this bizarre story about his dad locking himself out of the car and breaking the window with a high-heeled shoe. Because, you know, his dad's a woman now. Not exactly smooth, but somehow it works for Quagmire. But the real clincher isn't the blowout or the yoga mat. It's the McDonald's joke that seals the deal. Mickey D's saving the day once again.
You're lucky we came here. I almost suggested Mickey D's.
Oh my god. That's so informal. Are you talking about McDonald's?
Yeah.
But then, thinking he got a text from Lois, Quagmire accidentally reads out a random message and says, "Amber Alert, white Honda Accord, license plate." Real smooth, right? He quickly tries to cover it up with, "Yeah, I mean, Pinterest sure has some neat pictures of sinks, doesn't it?" And somehow, despite that train wreck of a recovery, the woman still takes him back to her place to, well, you know what?
Pinterest sure has some neat pictures of sinks.
Doesn't it? Listen, what if we just bail on dinner and head back to my place?
Great, I'm in.
So, next time you're out with a middle-aged woman, maybe give these strategies a shot. Compliment the blowout, avoid yoga questions, and if all else fails, just throw in something random about Pinterest. Who knows? You might just end up with the same results. Now this one was kind of acceptable, but the next one is just straight up outrageous. Quagmire gets a package delivery from a hot blonde girl. And sure, she's attractive, but that's no excuse for what he does next. The man literally goes back inside, strips down, and returns to the door, buck naked with the pickup line, "I got a package for you too."
Package for Glenn Quagmire?
Oh, excuse me. I got a package for you, too. All right.
Seriously, Quagmire? There's shooting your shot, and then there's whatever that was. And it gets even worse. In response to Quagmire's ridiculous move, the blonde girl pulls out pepper spray and blasts him in the face. But does that stop him? Nope. Quagmire's all like, "Nice try, but I've built up an immunity," as his face literally starts shrinking.
Nice try, but I built up an immunity.
Well, it turns out he's not completely immune yet, because he definitely cringes a bit from the capsaicin burn. Or who knows, maybe she was packing some chin-shrinking spray just for guys like him. Either way, this gets even weirder and hilarious. Easily one of the most disgusting things Quagmire's ever done, but I can't help laughing at the way he chases after the delivery truck. It's so ridiculous. I mean, come on, who thinks that's going to work? Kinda dumb if you ask me, but you know what dumber it is to ask someone for unprotected sex.
You want to have unprotected sex?
So this basically sums up Glenn Quagmire, the guy who's been all about spreading STDs and unplanned pregnancies since he learned to say giggity goo.
What? Oh no!
And that's not the worst part. Here's the condom I said I put on. Aren't I just the worst?
Seriously, within just 5 minutes of stepping into an elementary school, he hits on a teacher to have unprotected sex with him. And it gets worse from there. This was more outrageous than you think. In this episode, he discovers that he has several illegitimate children attending the same elementary school he visits.
Daddy?
Oh, God!
Papa?
Oh, God!
But does he learn his lesson? Nope. He just keeps making the same mistakes. Despite this shocking revelation, he still makes the same reckless choices, propositioning a teacher for unprotected sex shortly after arriving. That's blunt. But you know what's blunter? This.
Hey there, I don't want to come between you. Or do I?
I'm not even sure if inappropriately smooth is a thing, but with Glenn Quagmire, you just never know. He struts in with all his maniacal confidence, positioning himself between two random party girls while they're chatting, and casually drops this perfect line that could be taken multiple ways. And just before that, he hits them with 2 more pickup lines back to back in the same scene. Check this out.
Hey, if I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together. Hey, you must be a parking ticket, because you got fine written all over you.
Yes, he drops these two before dropping, "Hey there, I don't want to come between you." Or do I? Again, it's one of the smoother ways to say that he wanted to bed either of them without any other implied ideas. Other than that, it may or may not be a good icebreaker for when you want to approach two girls at a party and introduce yourself. In this classic Quagmire moment, he surveys the party scene and declares, which one into feminism? Which one is the man and who's mad for jazz?
Okay, that one's a feminist type. She's into He-Man, and that one's mad for jazz. Watch this.
With all the confidence of a guy who thinks he's God's gift to women, he strides right in and says, "The plight of women in this hemisphere is deplorable." To one, and "I can bench press 800 pounds." To another because, nothing says "I'm a sensitive guy" quite like flexing your muscles. Then, as if he's about to drop the smoothest pickup line ever, he adds, "You, me, and Coltrane till dawn." For the third one, and somehow, in true Quagmire fashion, he scores 1 for Peter and 2 for himself. But since Peter was having a bad day, he got them all.
The plight of women in this hemisphere is deplorable. I can bench press 800 pounds. You, me, and Coltrane till dawn. Giggity, 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 giggity. There you go, Peter. 1 for you, 2 for me.
You guys go on without me.
In another episode, Quagmire, in his usual creepy fashion, tries his luck by asking her age, and when she says 16, he quickly says 18 as if he didn't hear what she said, and then, in typical Quagmire style, he takes it up a notch when the girl calls for her. "I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity."
Hey there, sweetie. How old are you?
16.
18. You're first.
Mom!
I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
It's peak uncomfortable Quagmire, but the most uncomfortable was this pickup line. First, I'll let you hear it, and then I'll give you the context behind it.
Courtney, nice to meet you. You don't look like you're in high school.
I got held back. You like getting held back?
Sometimes.
Okay, not much is wrong with the line here, and the person he is using that line on is wrong. That's his daughter. Yup, Glenn Quagmire almost had a wild night with his own daughter, and it was a total mess. He had a blast with Courtney, but things took a turn when he realized she was his kid. Seriously, we all know Quagmire gets around. He probably has a ton of little Quagmires running around. Just look at the 3rd grade class at Martin M. Elementary. Half those kids probably have his eyes and that signature grin. And that's just one class in one town. Imagine how many of his kids are scattered all over the world like some twisted game of Where's Waldo? During a school bash, Quagmire meets a woman and takes her home for what he thinks will be a fun night. But then he finds out she's actually his daughter, Courtney.
Oh, Courtney.
Oh, Glenn. Oh, giggity.
Wait.
Oh man, the awkwardness. But give him some credit. Quagmire is always ready for crazy situations. Moments later, he hands her something and says, "Rub this up and down on the inside of your cheek." Seriously, dude? This is going to be one awkward family reunion. More awkward than his lines like, "Hi, I make more money than you can spend," poke fun at gold digger culture, but using it in real life would likely earn you a viral fail or a slap. His, "That dress would look great on the floor next to my bed," tries to be clever but ends up sounding more like a psycho killer than a smooth talker, especially considering his sketchy bedroom history. And then there's, "Beauty is only a light switch away," which insults more than it compliments, making it a guaranteed way to get a drink thrown at you. Glenn Quagmire is undoubtedly one of the most inappropriate characters in adult cartoons, and for Family Guy, that's really saying something. The show itself is a hub for offensive humor, where no topic is off limits, whether it's political incorrectness, sexism, racism, or just the kind of things you'd expect from a chaotic real comment section. Let me know what you think about this guy in this video's comment section. Well, that's it. Subscribe to the channel to get updated regularly with the latest update. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you at the next one.